So the sleeves in this pullover are worked top down. They are satin sleeves, but they are worked from the stitches are picked up from the top and gonna be worked down by working short rows. And this book, top down reimagined satin sleeve design, has all the whole chapter explaining how you can make a satin sleeve just like you would, working it separately, and different shapes of it. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. I'm gonna pick up the stitches around the armhole, and then I'm gonna be working short rows back and forth. So here I have the armhole. This is the shoulder I'm looking at, and I placed 3 stitch markers, and I'm gonna start picking up the stitches with a smaller needle than the one I'm knitting the main body. So it's needle 4 for me, and there's marker 1, marker 2. They are placed at an even distance from the shoulder seam. It says in the instructions how many, and then it says how many stitches I'm gonna pick up here between these 2 markers, then how many stitches to pick up here, and then I'm gonna go around. So here I have stitches between marker 1 and 2, and this is the most important. It took me a few tries to do it because I kept going off the rail on this side, going into the stitch below, and then I had a hole here that I had to pick up an extra stitch, so I ripped out a few times just to get them evenly perfect, because this is going to be the sleeve cap, so I wanted to look good here. So here I had to pick up between marker 1 and the cast on edge for the underarm 26 stitches, but I had 54 rows here, 27 purl bumps on the edge, and I decided to pick up 1 stitch into each row. And here, so I don't have a hole in the last ones, I'm gonna put a stitch marker. So once I get to it, I just remember that I need to knit these 2 together. This way I'm gonna end up with 1 stitch anyway here, but there will be no hole here. So this is what it looks like after I picked up the stitches for the sleeve, for satin sleeve that will be knitted top down. So basically for the sleeve cap, we pick up into every row, then every other row for in between the sleeve cap and the armhole, like for the armpit, and then every stitch in the armpit, and then again, oops, I'm losing stitches here, again every second row over here. So it makes it pretty easy, the rate of pickup. So now look, I am just making short rows, knitting back and forth by wrapping the stitches on the sides and creating this kind of, they cover the holes here and creates a nice edge, and it's shaping the sleeve. Can you see this already? So look, I'm actually on the purl side now. I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm gonna purl to the last wrapped stitch. So you see, this is my last wrapped stitch. I'm gonna purl this stitch, then I'm gonna put the yarn to the back, slip this stitch, slip it back on the needle, so the yarn will be wrapped around that stitch, and I'm gonna turn my knitting. So now this stitch is wrapped, and I'm gonna now knit back to the last wrapped stitch. I think it's fun because the rows are short, makes it interesting, and you can see the results almost immediately. each row of course gets longer by that amount of stitches, that every time you add one more stitch to your work. So I got to the last wrapped stitch. I'm gonna knit this stitch. Now I'm gonna put the yarn to the front because we want the wraps to be all on the front side of the work. And I'm gonna wrap it, slip it back on the needle. You see now the yarn is wrapped. And I'm gonna turn my work and purl again to the last wrapped stitch. And repeat this process according to directions until I have 7 stitches left before the next stitch marker. Now look at this beauty. So this is the finished satin sleeve cap here, and it looks really good. Look at this. All right, the sleeve cap is done. It's knitted top down. Now look, fits perfectly in there. Looks really good. The sleeve is supposed to be knitted in the round now, but I almost never knit sleeves in the round unless there's some kind of pattern on them that I don't want to lose them. But otherwise, I always knit them back and forth. I split them over here, and I add an extra stitch for seams at the edges, and now work them back and forth. Now I'm going to pick up this side.